guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a fun little hair video. I'm going to be showing you guys some hairstyles that I like to do that are inspired by anime characters. I feel like anime characters just have like the coolest hair, and sometimes it could be a little out there, but I do think that there are some styles that can translate really well into the real world. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys 4 of the styles that I personally really like. And these aren't going to be like exact because it's not like I'm doing a cosplay or something like that. I'm literally just getting inspired by these characters and then doing what I like and kind of what works for my hair. So I'm going to be starting off with an iconic character, and that is Sailor Moon. That's something I watched as a kid, and I mean, come on, her hair is just pretty cool. This one I feel like is the one that's like the most different, I would say, like not really a hairstyle you see every day, but I do think it can look pretty cool. So the first thing you're going to want to do for this is actually split your hair down the middle and the back. This is a little hard, but if you use like a mirror behind you and a mirror in front, I feel like you should be able to do it. I'm just going to use this little like the brush that I use to dye my hair, but it has a really like fine point here, so that's what I'm going to use. So I already have a middle part, so it's kind of easy to just continue from here, but I'm just going to bring it back. Alright, so I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's good enough. I usually do this in the bathroom, and over there it's a little easier for me, but I think it should be fine. So next up, just go ahead and brush your hair. We have to make sure it's as like brushed out as possible so that it's easier to like bring it up. Alright, so now if you have bangs, this would be the time to just like let your bangs like separate from the rest of your hair. I have a longer bang, so it's not like hers, but like I said, I'm just doing what works for me. So I'm gonna leave these pieces right here, which are the shortest pieces in my hair. Obviously, compared to hers, they're still pretty long, but I still think they look cute, just kind of like to frame the face. Alright, so once you have separated whatever pieces you want to leave down, we're gonna bring each side basically into 2 like ponytails. I find that it's easier to do it like with the brush, like just go brushing it as you bring it up, or else it gets very lumpy. So once we get it to the right height, I think like right here is good. I'm just gonna go and tie that. So just using a regular little hair tie. I like to use one that like kind of matches my hair color so that if anything shows, like it doesn't stand out too much. Alright, so we have the first pigtail, and now we do the other side. And here you just really want to make sure that it's at the same like height as this one. And you can kind of adjust after, but at least try to get it in the general right position. And just like that, we have our pigtails. But no, this is not the finished style. Don't get me wrong, I actually think pigtails are pretty cute, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea because it can look very childish, I guess. So we're gonna take it one step further. So what you're actually gonna do is twist the hair right here and roll it around, but we're only gonna do that once. I mean, you could do it more if you have longer hair, but since my hair is not that long right now, I just feel like if I roll it around too much, then this is gonna get really short. So I'm gonna do it once, but I'm gonna kind of like let it get a little loose so that it creates like a nice little bun. So normally I think I would use like a clear elastic, but I only have one that's clear right now. Probably should have bought some more before this, but I'm just gonna go and use a bobby pin. Couldn't think of the word for a second. And put it in here and just try to hide it under the hair so that you can't see it. So just do that. So here's how this side is looking. And now I'm just gonna repeat the same thing over on this side. Roll it, loop it around, and then gotta make sure the length here is the same. That looks about right. And then just stick in a bobby pin. And if one is like smaller than the other, you can just kind of pull it out and just fluff it up a bit. Alright, well that's how the first hairstyle looks. Honestly, I think this looks cooler when you have longer hair, like to leave these pieces like really long. But I cut my hair not long ago. But I still think it's a pretty fun hairstyle because it's kind of like a mixture of pigtails and space buns, which I think is very cute. So speaking of space buns, that's actually a very popular hairstyle and I have always loved them. And that's gonna be number 2 because if you don't want something like this where you leave the hair out a bit, then space buns are definitely a great idea. And my anime character muse for this one is Tenten from Naruto. So for this one, I'm gonna remove these, but I'm gonna keep my hair in pigtails. So if this is the look you're trying to achieve, then basically the steps are the same as the first one up until here. And we are gonna do the same thing, like twist the hair, but instead of just looping it around once, we're gonna loop all of the hair around. And here's where you can kind of decide how like small or big you want it, because if you do it like very twisted like this and just try to make it very tight, then you'll get a smaller bun. I personally like it a little bit fluffier. So also I guess it depends on how much hair you have. So take that into consideration. If you have short hair but you want a fuller bun, you can just kind of like separate the hair a bit as you go and just try to make it like really puffy. So my hair is like medium length right now and I like them pretty puffy but nothing too crazy, so I'm gonna twist it but still like kind of like separate the hair a tiny bit. So once I have it looking how I want, and you can adjust it a bit later, you just secure it with some bobby pins. I usually use 2, one to pin down like the ends of the hair, and then I like to do one going the like opposite direction just to make sure that it's like secure and that it's not going anywhere. And it should look something like that. Honestly, each time I do it, it comes out different. Sometimes I like it more than others and I just kind of go with it. I did forget to say that you can leave these pieces out again if you want to. Tenten has like short little bangs, so kind of like Sailor Moon, but I don't, but I still like to leave some hair out, so that's what I'm doing. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and this is also a bit of a tricky part, it's like getting them to look the same, so just kind of play around with it a bit. Don't get annoyed if you can't get it right away. Sometimes it takes me a couple of tries. Alright, now my space buns are secured, and here's how they turned out. I just love space buns, I think they're so fun. Also, I like to try to pull out a little bit of hair right here, because I feel like it fills in that gap between the bangs and this, since everything's like pulled back. So yeah, just bring down a little bit of hair, all your little baby hairs, and this is how it looks. Guys, this is such a fun hairstyle, like, I love it so much. This is probably one of the ones that I do the most. Alright, so that's kind of it for the updos. The next 2 styles are going to be something that you can wear with your hair down. Maybe I should have done the updos last, because now my hair is probably going to look a little bit weird. Alright, so next up is probably one of my favorite characters, and it's Asuna from Sword Art Online. I think her hairstyle is pretty cool. I've done it a couple of times, maybe not exactly like hers, but pretty similar. So once again, Asuna has like shorter bangs in the front and I don't. So I'm just going to be separating once again my shorter pieces. She does actually leave a longer piece like in the front, so you can kind of decide if you want to do that or not. I think it actually looks fine both ways. So I'm actually not going to be leaving the longer piece. I just think that's how it looks best on me. But of course, do whatever you want. Like I said, we're just getting inspired by Asuna, but we can customize it to what fits best for us. So once you've separated the hair that you want to leave out, you're actually going to grab a kind of big chunk here in the front, not too big. Like you just need enough hair to basically make a braid. So I've basically gotten the hair from here to like, kind of like where my ear is, nothing too like perfect, like I didn't use a comb or anything to separate it, I just grabbed a chunk. So then from here, you're just gonna separate the hair in 3 sections. Try to get the pieces to be as even as possible. I know sometimes it's a little hard, but it'll just make the braid look more even. And yeah, basically you just start braiding. I like to kind of like pull it back so that it'll lay well like against my head. So you don't actually need to braid it all the way because we are going to be tying it here in the back. So you can kind of just see where you would need it by doing this, and I feel like that is enough, so I'm just gonna do a little extra. And then for now, I'm just gonna use this little clip to stop it so that then we could get started on the other side. And then just like the other side, just braid it, pulling back. Now you could make the braid a little thicker either by using more hair or just kind of like pulling on it a little bit. Her braids are pretty thin, so if you want it more like hers, then something like this should be fine. Alright, so this seems to be about the same length. Actually, it's a little longer now than this one. And so we're gonna bring both of these back. So I'm just gonna take a clear elastic and we're gonna join the two braids in the back and tie it. And if you still have a little bit of a braid there, just go ahead and brush that out. So this is pretty much how it should look in the back. So if you really want the back to look like Asuna's hair, hers it doesn't lay flat like this. You could take a little clip, hold the hair piece up and clip it. And it'll just lift this little piece right here, which is kind of how hers is. I don't feel like I have the right clip for it because it stands out in my pink hair. This is black. So I'm not gonna do it, and also I just think this is like a little more wearable just to have it down like this. So I'm just gonna keep mine like that, but I am gonna bring some hair forward. Again, just bring down any little like baby hairs and hairs like right in front of the ears. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, not exactly like her hair, but it is inspired by hers, and I just think it looks really cute. It's a nice way of wearing your hair down, but still having like a little something interesting like with the braid. Yeah, I think this one is super cute. I hope you guys liked it. And let's move on to the final look, which actually also includes a braid. Alright, so the last hairstyle is inspired by Makoto from Persona, and I feel like it's kind of a classic look, but I think it looks really cute on her. She does have short hair, and obviously mine isn't short, but I actually do think that this is easier to do on longer hair. But if you have short hair, it definitely looks very, very cute. So surprise, surprise, she also has bangs, and hers are like actual bangs, and I definitely don't have that. But this looks cute with any kind of like hair, honestly. We're basically gonna be creating like a braid headband with our own hair. So you kind of want to split your hair like behind your ear, I would say, and grab a pretty good chunk from down here. Don't go too crazy because or else you will see it when your hair is down. You basically want this to be like hidden. You want to have enough hair on top that it'll conceal this part. So I'm getting a chunk about like this big, and you know the drill, separate it into 3 so we can start braiding it. So once you have 3 even pieces, you just start braiding it. And this one, like, you could start braiding it up, but it's actually not really necessary. So again, you can make this braid as thin or as wide as you want. Hers is pretty thin. I do think I am gonna pull on mine just a little bit because I don't know, I do have more hair than her, so I feel like a fuller braid might look better. So once you've braided it all the way to the end, you can just go ahead and tie it with a little elastic. Now here's the thing, your hair might not actually be long enough to create a braid that will go all the way around your head. So if your hair is very short, then you'll just do the same thing on this side and kind of cross them over. But mine, although it's not as long as I would like it to be to completely reach the other side, I am just gonna do one because once the hair is over, you can't really see the end. So yeah, the same way you split it on this side, you're gonna wanna split it in the same place over here. And then you just bring the braid over like this and into this little opening. So there's 2 ways you can secure it if you've managed to bring it all the way here. If you do have to make them kind of meet over here, I would recommend just using like bobby pins. But over here, you could either use a bobby pin or even one of those little like snap like thingies, I don't know what they're called. Or if you really want to make sure it's secure, you can actually grab a piece of hair from here and join it with the end of the braid and then tie it again. So that's what I'm gonna do because I just feel like it feels more secure that way. So once you have it secured, you just bring the hair back over like this, and there you have it, a little headband that's braided with your own hair. I think this is so cute because you basically just have your hair down, but then it's like a nice little surprise there. I love this one so much, and I should actually wear it more often. Alright, well that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed these hairstyles. Let me know which one was your favorite. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, bye!